Everyone wants to use large language models and chatbots to get the most of generative AI and answer even more questions with their solution. But did you know connecting the two is actually easier and faster than you'd think? I can do it in under 10 minutes. But I thought using large language models was an extremely complicated task. Once you get hands-on with the technology, you're going to realize how accessible it is for everyone, even non-coders. So there's no coding experience required, and I'm going to walk you through the setup process. I'm going to break it down in just 5 steps. Let's go to our virtual assistant and get started. Here, I've created a simple virtual assistant. It can answer very simple questions that I've manually added. But what if we want it to do more? We're going to utilize the AI Toolkit GitHub repository for some pre-built integrations. For example, right now it answers questions like, what time does the animal shelter open? But if I ask it a more complicated question like, how common are Swedish valhunds? It doesn't quite hit the mark, but not for long. After we've finished, it will be able to answer this question in addition to questions like, am I allowed to have a pet opossum? Or what is the recommended amount of dog food for a 30-pound dog? Before we move on, let's talk about the difference between a rules-based chatbot and a generative AI-based chatbot. Think of a rules-based chatbot as a very structured, limited dialogue flow. It has a set of questions that it's prepared to answer based on a user's input, but that's it, just that one set of questions. It can't formulate any other answers other than exactly what has been provided. Now, a generative AI-based assistant, on the other hand, utilizes large language models to create an answer to the user's question. It's been trained on massive amounts of data, so the model is able to use all of this training in order to formulate a human-like response. So, what we're going to do today is basically hook up your chatbot interface to a large language model, allowing you to utilize AI to create natural language answers to questions you had not anticipated. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'll be using watsonx Assistant, IBM's conversational intelligence platform, and watsonx.ai, which is a part of IBM's data and AI platform, watsonx. I'm going to assume you've already chosen your own platform and model. For this one, my model of choice is going to be Granite. But the basic principles of this will work with most AI platforms, models, and assistants. First, we're going to grab our IBM Cloud API key. It's important to always store your API keys in a safe place so that you can reuse them later, or as I do, create a new API key every single time because I forget where mine is stored. So now you can head to your data and AI platform, in my case, watsonx.ai, go to the Manage tab, then copy the project ID, which is what we use to connect our assistant and large language model. Time to integrate our large language model with our virtual assistant. Since I'm using watsonx, I can go over to the Assistant Toolkit. We're going to download the Open API spec and the sample action. Now let's add these to our assistant. From within the assistant, click Integrations. You can think of an integration as a simple way to connect your assistant to some other service or dataset. Then just follow the prompts to upload our Open API spec. Now, our Open API spec is going to contain all of the URLs and data structures that we need to connect to our large language model. Okay, so once that's completed, you'll want to go to your extensions page and add your new extension. Follow the steps and enter your IBM Cloud API key to complete the process. Bear with me, we're almost done. Next, let's upload the sample dialog provided in the Assistant Toolkit. Here's where you're going to drag and drop your sample actions file and then click Upload. Wait for it to complete and then click Close. Now we're almost done. I really mean it this time. Now we've got to set up our variables. So you're going to navigate to Variables, Created By, then Created by You. You're going to paste your project ID from watsonx.ai to the project_ID variable. We just have one more step. Let's make sure our extension is configured and the integration actually works. I don't know about y'all, but I usually need to do a lot of testing because I may or may not rush, and I usually skip a few steps along the way and end up causing a lot of errors. Anyways, you're going to open the Invoke watsonx Generation API action and click Edit Extension. Select the watsonx extension, and then just fill in the parameters. Voila! You've now connected your bot to a large language model in less than 10 minutes. Your assistant is going to be able to receive and reply in natural language. While this is incredibly powerful, making sure your LLM-enabled assistant provides accurate and appropriate responses, that's a whole other story. So check out our videos on AI governance or RAG to dive deeper into that. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.